My name is Ryan and I'm in recovery. Good morning, I'm just taking my dog for an early morning walk on the beach, which is really nice. So I'm in recovery from cocaine. I'm 38 years old. I've been using pretty heavily since I was a teenager, for most of my life. If you've watched any other videos, you'll kind of know the story, but just to say, it's been 10 years of quite heavy addiction. Since COVID, it's been almost daily, really high volumes. Things all kind of came to a head for me back in January when a particular incident happened, and it kind of, my family found out, my sister found out, and I then went and told my family, and my partner ended up going to rehab, and yeah, I'm now, I think it's 96 days clean. I've had periods of being clean in the past, but this time it feels like, rather than just resisting and using willpower, I actually don't want to use, and that's kind of come about through therapy, through a few different kind of techniques I use now that I'm sharing in videos. And yeah, generally I'm in a pretty good headspace. I still get them feelings of shame. I still get them. Anyone that uses regularly and will know this, but you kind of get these almost like flashbacks, like PTSD, flashes in your mind of things you've done, and it just kind of floods your body with shame, and you just feel a bit sick to your stomach. I really struggle to kind of accept that I've done some of the things I've done. And yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to talk about the difference between shame and guilt, because for me, I didn't know the difference. But I've since, through therapy and rehab and chatting to other people in recovery, I've kind of learned quite an important key difference. Shame is something that keeps you stuck. It keeps you feeling bad about yourself. It keeps you having low self-esteem. It keeps you locked in this cycle of I'm a shit person, so I'm just going to abuse drugs because that's what my body deserves. That kind of basic thought. And that kind of, definitely for the last few years, kept me locked in my cycle of using. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. I've lied to a lot of people. I've been deceitful. I've still got amends to make with some people, which I'm doing slowly but surely. But it's pretty overwhelming at times to have to face a lot of the bad shit you've done. But yeah, the key difference between shame and guilt for me, the way I understand it, is guilt is to recognise that you've done these bad things, but to understand that it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Good people do bad things, and what the difference is how you make amends and how you kind of come back from those things. A big part of me doing these videos, and they're getting a really good response, and I'm getting a lot of messages every day from people in addiction, or people with partners in addiction, people in recovery that just want to chat, and it really helps me, because it kind of almost feels like I'm using that power that my addiction had and flipping it and using it as a power to help others, which is great. And it also just really helps me to connect with people and to talk, share similar experiences. Just 1 second, my dog's lost his ball. Ernie, go get your ball. Get your ball. Where is it? But yeah, so it's and a lot of the people I talk to when they message me, it's all this kind of chat of, I'm so ashamed, I've let my family down. You haven't. Addiction, it's interesting because I don't necessarily subscribe to the thinking that addiction is a disease, but what it is you make the choice initially, you say yes, but at some point that substance gets a hold of you. No one chooses to spend all of their money and ruin their lives for pleasure. That's by the time you're doing them sort of things, it's too late. The drug's got a hold of you, it's bigger than you, and there's no shame in that. Don't let that shame stop you from reaching out and asking for help. Don't let that shame stop you from just trying to get better, get above it, because it's fine to feel bad about the things you've done and take accountability, and I'm very much for that. But you need to take accountability in a positive way. You need to say, right, I'm going to reach out for help, and I'm going to speak to the people I've wronged, apologise, and take positive steps. And the main thing to make better is ultimately yourself, because you know the main person you're harming in your addiction is yourself. You're causing yourself a lot of health issues, mental health issues, physical health issues, all that kind of stuff. And if you can get a bit better, start treating yourself a bit nicer, then that's a positive step. And it's a positive step that will be really hard to make if you're in shame. So just try and think consciously about